Are you seeing this? Because, like, the Princess of Power collection is getting a little out of control. It desperately needs unboxed. Let's start with the newest Hordak. So for a while now, I have been picking up the Princess of Power stuff. Just in terms of as I go along and as I buy Masterverse, they show up. That's them. They're right there. So far, this is about ridiculous. I have Catra, She-Ra, Hordak, Emperor Hordak. I have Grizzlor. I have Frosta. I have Shadow Weaver. I have Leech. Like, all of this is Princess of Power. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items so far. Do I have all the Princess of Power that's been released in the entire line? I don't know. I might. I very well might literally have the entire line of it that's been released so far, Masterverse-wise. Hey, if so, that's fantastic. But what's not fantastic, as an opener, boxes take more space than an opened figure. And it's becoming noticeable. Noticeable to the point where I finally, when I was taking stuff off the shelf, there's a shelf over there for like unboxes, like videos that are coming up. And I got to looking, and I took the Emperor because he's one of the newest guys that I have. And I've been trying to kind of get the new guys out and then filter in the old openings here and there. And that way I don't get more stuff on the shelf. That was the actual idea. It wasn't like to grab views. That wasn't the idea at hand in general. The idea was when stuff shows up in the mail, rather than adding it to that shelf, I need to get that video done as quick as I can, get it out, and then I can go back to the shelf and start getting stuff off the shelf. Because there is still a lot of things. I still have Spiral up there that we've never unboxed. I still bought the best Black Widow, and I've never unboxed her. I don't know what she's actually like. I have Duke on the shelf, like figure after figure after figure that's piling up on the shelf. And then I started realizing that if I'm getting new items in the mail, and I get the items, and I'm set to do the video, but then I put them on the shelf and add it to the shelf, and then, like, I don't need to do that. I need to be very careful about that, and I need to kind of stay on track with what I'm doing. So I made the decision. I wanted to get the Emperor Hordak. Rather than add him to the shelf, I put him on the table here to be the next guy to talk about. Then it hit me. He's a Princess of Power. Technically he's Revolution, but he's a Princess of Power. What other Princess of Power figures do I currently have sitting on the shelf? And then I started taking them off. I filled this entire table, and I said, oh, I got to do something about that. So today, Emperor Hordak. And just to skip the normal part that we do with the box, there's not much else to say other than to talk about the cross-sell on the back. So to get that out of the way right here and right now, the cross-sell is Thunder Punch He-Man, Emperor Hordak, Leech, and Cyclone. We've already got videos for Cyclone and Thunder Punch He-Man on the channel. We're going to talk about Hordak right here. And the next video, just to guarantee we stay on top of things, to finish this cross-sell and have it done, we'll check out Leech. So today, Emperor Hordak. Next video, Leech. Let's do it. Okay, sorry if I'm giving away the plot right off the bat, but that's a solid looking figure. We're going to get into him and see, because I got a couple things that I wonder if he has problems. First off, his armor thing. Cool looking, but I'll bet you it's a pretty big hindrance. Oh yeah, you're not going to get that arm to go up. That's a bit of a problem. He has his pointy finger hand. I don't know what's up with these hands. Is there a reason that he has, like, gun hands? Because I've noticed a lot of different characters that are coming with these, like, pointy hands. Not so much in Masterverse, necessarily. Well, that's arguable because we've kind of seen a lot of the staff holding hands where kind of like one of the fingers is kind of out, and I don't know what that's about. Regardless, I do like that they painted all the fingernails. They went through the trouble to actually do that. That's pretty cool. Otherwise, we're looking at pretty standard design for Masterverse. He's got the double jointed and everything like that, so we're not going to have any problems there. The battle skirt has a lot of give. That is absolutely solid. That's fantastic, actually. There's a lot of give in the battle skirt, so we're not going to have problems there. The feet are pretty cool. And we know that he has like the robot feet. We know because of this guy right here. So we know that he has the robot feet, which these are better robot feet, I would say, than the original one. I like this. This is very much like the Acolyte guys that were following Motherboard, which I like quite a bit. I love this big horde symbol right here. I love this look in the face, this vampire-esque look. That is creepy and cool. Like, it very much reminds me of like a vampire in the actual vampire state. Like, not where they're quite human, but when they're kind of monstrous. That's what that reminds me of, and I think it's really, really cool. His staff, this looks like the kind of staff that I like a lot. Maybe that finger thing is to help them get stabs, but I don't know. Oh, I had high hopes. He's a little bigger than the actual staff. That bothers me a bit. You know my rule on staffs. I would prefer that if we're going to do a staff, let the staff go all the way down to the floor, touch the floor, and then go a little up past his head. You could argue that I could push that down a little bit further and maybe reach the floor that I'm talking. Nah, it's pretty rough. It doesn't really like to go down. So it's not a perfect staff, in my opinion. I prefer them when they actually go all the way down. Is that the same problem again? Are you guys starting to use that paint that feels sticky? Because the staff, it feels sticky. If this is becoming a regular thing, stop it. Stop it right now. Do not allow this to become a regular activity where we use the sticky paint. Like, I really hate the way that feels. Do not make that a regular thing. Find alternatives. I like this cape. It works out pretty well. I like this bullet top and everything that he's got. So, I don't know if this comes off, and if it does, I don't know if it easily comes off. No, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to force it. Okay, so we do have a bit of a problem with this figure then. And that is going to be his posability. This guy is basically made for standing there and looking cool, or sitting down and looking cool, and that's pretty much it. He does come with punchy hands, though I don't know what kind of fighting you would do with him because he really does not move well. Otherwise, his look is absolute. I mean, he looks unbelievable. His staff is super, super cool. Everything about this guy is attitude. And if all you need him to do is kind of stand there and be imposing, he will do that with the absolute best of them. He's one of the best looking figures in the line. In terms of getting anything out of him, though, that's questionable. I don't know how much movement or anything you're going to get in terms of if you wanted this guy to, to do some pictures and stuff with, you might be hard pressed to get too much out of him, really. Come on. There. Now he's holding the staff in this hand. That way he has his pointy hand. Oh, put your hand up. See, that armor is already in his way. He can't even... It's even hard for him to take a pose where he, you will do what you are told or whatever. This dude looks awesome. This, I'm going to say it, in terms of the wave of the 4 figures so far, for this wave, he looks really cool. He might be the weakest figure. Not to say that cool figures don't just have their place. But statues are statues. Statues with a couple moving appendages here and there, they're still really just statues. For an adult collector that's going to put this on your shelf, that may not actually turn out to be an issue. He's really cool looking. He will go on the shelf. He will look cool. And that's pretty much what I'm going to need him to do. Does that make him a great figure? Not necessarily. He has some real problems. Once the armor and everything is on him, and I'm sure that you could probably take the armor off. Though, like I said, at first glance, I'm not seeing how you would do it. Maybe you would have to pop the arms off and then lift it off the torso. I mean, you could do that. That's not the worst idea in the world, but I've actually never popped the arms off a Masterverse figure. I need to, if you want the truth of it, at some point. That way I can see how the body and everything actually works and how everything's put together in case I ever run into a problem. But yeah, I mean, his boots are cool. I guess I didn't really go into that. I just kind of looked at his battle skirt, but his boots are cool. They have these chevrons and whatnot on them. Oh, there we go. You see it? That's cool. This guy is awesome. And there I got a kind of cool effect where I got because it's just, it's give enough, but it'll kind of hold a shape. This is really cool. But he is really static. He's just going to stand there. He's going to have his staff. He's going to look cool. And we're going to go, man, he looks cool. And that's the extent of him. I've seen figures be better. I do honestly believe that while this guy's really cool, I think he's the weakest of this wave. Not necessarily bad. And like I said, sometimes you can call me an apologist for the line that I love, and that's very fine. I would take that. I would take that criticism, and I'd run with it and be happy because it doesn't matter. As long as I'm happy with the figure that I bought, that's the only thing that really matters in the end. But I will say, there's only going to be so many shots I could actually do with him. However, let's put this into perspective for a second. When he shows up in the show, the only thing he's really doing is standing there. He stands there, he has his hands behind his back, his hands in front of him, his hands to his side, he stands, he sits, he stands, he commands, that's it. That's all he does. He walks. Now, because of that, I would tell you that the next figure is the one that's meant to move. The battle armor figure will have to be designed so that he can move and fight and hold fighting poses and things of that nature. This one was not designed to do that. This is very much the commander, the emperor, the man that stands, the man that gives the commands. I don't hate that. In fact, I'm on board with it. For that purpose alone, I'm willing to forgive a lot with this figure. But if I'm being honest, he is the weakest of the current wave. Still good, though. Praise be to Emperor Hordak. I'm gonna get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.